Singapore. Gotta get up. The Big Show on Kiss 92. Gotta get up.
Good morning, Singapore, and welcome to Therapy Tuesday with Dr. Geraldine Tan from the Therapy Room back in Singapore.
Yay.
Good morning, Gerry.
Back in Singapore. Yes, I'm back in Singapore. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And I'm so surprised that today we're going to be talking about something so negative,
Oh,
which is toxic friends.
A lot of people, I think, have them but don't know how to handle them.
What do you think, Gerry?
Yeah.
About what FD said.
So
Is he wrong?
Let's see. School just reopened, and I had a flood of kids actually not wanting to return to school. So that's why I thought I wanted to pick up on this topic, because they are facing social, issues in school. So we oftentimes try to work with the students and say, okay, let's develop your social skills. Then I realized they don't know how to identify toxic friends, and they just call them friends. They can't even identify that, or they cannot even realize, they're not even aware that they are being bullied. So it's quite sad. And interesting enough, the adults also are not able to fend off these toxic friends.
Gerry, I don't understand it. They are not aware that they're being bullied?
They don't classify it. So when you ask them, they would just say they are my friends. So it's okay.
I'd say some
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
would want to be with these people because maybe they're popular, or maybe they just want to be seen with them.
They're the it crowd.
So they don't realize that they're treating them badly as well.
Like, you weren't bullied when you were young.
I was.
Yeah, exactly. If I were like your classmates, I want to pull your ears as
Oh
well.
my gosh.
No, and it's true.
From the back.
No, it's true. Ears got pulled.
Yeah.
Everything. I had it. I had it for years.
But you got bullied. Were they your friends? Did you hang out with them? Then that becomes your toxic friends,
You still hung out with them, though.
Oh, you hung out with your
You
bullies?
still- you still
Oh,
hung
I
out
never
with
hung
them.
out with my bullies. Oh.
You still hung
And
out
you
with them.
still call them your friends.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
I think it was a want of acceptance. You wanted to be part of a group, a clique, and the pulling of the ears was the price you paid.
And then your ears became bigger.
And then they became bigger. And now,
Because everyone was pulling your ears.
and now the telephone companies rent me every once in a while for
my
satellite
gosh.
dishes.
One side Singtel, the other side StarHub. Okay.
You want good reception? You stand next to the FD.
Anyway, let's continue to talk to Gerry on the Big Show TV. Up next, this is a new one.
Shensia.
Shensia featuring McCoy Leray.
Oh.
This is Flavor on Kiss 92. Okay.
So, Gerry, if kids just call everybody friends, how do we actually define a friend?
Actually, it's not just the kids. So I was saying adults also, right? They would just call them friends, But yeah, what defines a friend? Is it? I would think it's somebody that can spar with us intellectually, uplifts us, encourage us, supports us, be there
Being
when
there for us.
is reliable, is trustworthy. I mean, I would have these words being thrown out, but interestingly, the toxic friends are none of these.
I would say a friend is someone who pours into you as much as you pour into them.
So there's that give and take.
Give and
is
take.
it?
Yeah, of course. There has to be reciprocation. There's some people that you constantly doing stuff for, but they never do anything back for you.
Yeah.
Or you're always there for them, but then when you need them, they're not there for you. So those I would consider toxic people.
Givers, you see. Some people are givers. So how then do we classify? Because there are different thresholds for different people. So some people give more, and some people are okay to receive more, and they don't have the capacity to give as much. So that's why the confusion comes with what sort of balance is there.
So do love languages come into play here? Because I mean, some people are more givers, some people are more takers, some people are more gifters, some people receive differently. So would you consider that to go hand in hand as well? Love
mean,
as in
yes.
less in friends love, you know what I mean?
Understand. So the love language, it can be also applied, but I don't think we are looking at the love languages at this point in time. We're looking at qualities of a friendship.
Yeah, I think let's look at it in a more simple way. I don't even think we need to define, like, okay, so what is a friend or whatever. I think we all have people we are close to and whom we consider, let's say, friends, okay? We've been friends for many, many years. But it's the kind of advice that they give us. I think if we listen to them and we turn out better for it, because, I mean, we give each other advice, right? I mean, you and your friends and all that. As long as we're good for each other, we're not toxic.
Yeah.
But if you're giving bad advice constantly to each other,
Yeah.
right? Like, okay, just lie to your parents,
Yeah.
lie to your family, or whatever,
Yeah.
then these to me are toxic friends.
But I also like what you said, as in we don't need to make it so overcomplicated. I don't even think we can label people friends anymore because people use that so loosely.
Exactly.
Like, oh,
Exactly.
it's like a friend. I'm like thinking to myself, no, more an acquaintance, but that person would get insulted
Yeah.
if I called them an acquaintance.
Acquaintance,
So
yeah.
I
Yeah.
think we can say more so that is a person I would turn to. You know, it's like Glenn, a friend. Glenn's a person I would turn to if I needed help. You know, and I can count on if I need
Yeah.
that help.
Yeah. Yeah.
So whether that's friends, family, however you want to label it, it's a person you want in your life, right?
Because I would give a good advice as much as possible. Once in a while, maybe.
You just throw
Bit of-
something in, right?
Bit of naughty advice.
It's interesting
For fun.
because I consider a friend someone who is there but doesn't poke their nose in. They're there, and when you're ready to talk to me, I'm ready for you.
You're like considerate of each other.
They don't go in and go, so how are things go? What's happening now?
But that's okay. But that's your definition.
My definition,
yeah.
they don't do that.
You would prefer that.
Yeah. You know, that's why sometimes
Right.
people will ask me, so what's happening here? And I go, I don't know. Not my business until they tell me.
Yeah.
You know, that I consider a friend.
Okay.
Sure. So we all have different definitions of what we want from a friend, you know. So it's very, very dynamic. It's very different, you know. But when does it go over? You know. So when is advice too much? So Glenn gives good advice, but when is it too much? When does it become an imposition? You know, we do joke with each other, and people hear all of you joking on air and poking fun at each other. But how much is too much?
Too much. Yeah.
I think it's too much when that advice becomes instructional.
You should.
You should be doing this. You should go out and do this. Yeah, that's when I say, yo, you're not in my life. You can't say that.
That's true.
That to me
How
is
about the
just
joke
taking.
one?
How about what?
The joke. You know, because you know, kids tend to say, "Oh, but all of us say this to each other." They use the F word on each other. They make fun of each other. They put down each other, and they say, "Oh, but everyone is doing that."
Yeah.
So, how much is too much?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like if it's constant, you know, like if you're doing it every day just to get a reaction and stuff like that. But if it's once in a while, it's okay. But I don't know how much is too
I think
much.
too much is when the kid perhaps doesn't want to go to school anymore.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, that's way too far already.
Takes an MC.
Yeah,
or
that's
way too
something.
far.
Okay, wait. Going for a traffic update.
Kiss 92 traffic.
Lots of heavy traffic warnings all over the place, but also on the BKE towards the PIE before the Bukit Panjang Road exit. Avoid lane 2. A vehicle's having a little trouble there. Wherever you are today, stay safe.
Good morning and welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. We're talking about toxic friends with Dr. Geraldine Tan from the therapy room.
And
Good
we're
morning, Gerry.
Morning.
We're talking about people joking and poking fun, and at what point does it become
Too much.
too much?
Too much. Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, it's sometimes, especially in the boys' school, you hear them poke fun at each other, and it can be really, really harsh.
Yeah.
And you want to go in and you want to stop them, but the victim then says, no, 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 we're just having fun. And you go like, oh my gosh, that sounds really harsh. But sometimes they all can take it, But sometimes there are those children who are a little bit more vulnerable. So another reason why I want to highlight this topic is I did have a client come in, and he had known another student that had killed himself because he wanted to punish his friends for making fun of him. Yeah.
Wow.
He completed it.
He killed
completed
himself.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So that all his friends would live in guilt for the rest of their lives.
Correct. The sad thing is nobody will. They will grow up
And they will forget.
But he has no more life to continue. Another girl that I just saw wants to run away because her so-called friend turned against her, spread rumors and turned other people against her. And she still called them friends. And a even younger one, until it was highlighted, or rather until the parent realized that her Milo, her snack was being taken away, she was giving her food to someone, to another friend, who said, if you don't give me, I'm not going to be your friend. So she would give every day her Milo pack and her little snack to this person.
This
Kids
is
can be
rampant.
so cruel,
It's rampant in school. My girls went through it. I went through it.
Yeah, I think it's happened. It's happened for a long time.
If not your snack, it was your pocket money.
Yeah. And if not that, it was your stationery.
Your stationery.
People would see a nice pen, they'd be like, oh, can I borrow that? Never give it back. Or they take it from you, or your erasers, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Thank goodness I never had that.
You're
no
joking.
one took anything from me.
No,
Yeah.
no one took anything from me
Yeah.
either.
Except
No.
one boy tore my pants.
Oh, dear.
I think he liked me.
Oh, maybe he did.
He grabbed me from the back, seriously.
Oh.
I'm like, damn it. I'm like, what am I going to tell my mom now? All of a sudden, I had a slit now in my pants.
Oh, dear.
Funny guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the sad thing is all of them say that these are my friends. So, are they truly our friends, or do we need to step away from them?
I think
Or
because
how
of
do
that.
we classify them?
How do we help them? I think how do we help them and make them realize that they're not friends,
It's that National Day song, lah. This is my country.
Country,
These are my friends. Everybody's my friend here
No.
in
No.
Singapore.
I think it is a fear of not having friends.
Okay,
And
lonely.
that's why even these people are your friends.
okay, let's continue to talk about this on the Big Show TV. It is 8:13.
Kiss 92 Time Check brought to you by Putian.
This is
But I like what they
Is that what it is? Is it FOMO? Is it the need to
Yeah.
belong?
Well, many of them describe it the way Effie described it, right? So how you mentioned. So this particular adult that I'm actually counseling, so he has friends, also he calls them friends, but these are people that are very negative. But he's afraid to offend them. And quoting him is, because these are the only few I have in Singapore. So this is an expatriate. So
you go.
I'm afraid
Oh.
if I offend them, I have no more friends, then I'll be lonely in Singapore.
And this is
Yeah.
an adult.
Yep.
An adult, a full-grown adult in his 30s.
And
Yeah.
his friends are bullying him.
Oh my God.
Ask him to come and hang out
Yeah, exactly.
with us.
Yeah, Glenn's over here.
Introduce him to me. I'll go to your office.
The thing is, it's very similar. So he didn't say it in the same way, and all these different case studies, different people didn't say it in the same way after he said it. But they say they would pay a certain price to have these people around, or have be in their presence, in those people's presence.
I
Yeah,
totally
so-
understand where they're coming from.
Yeah.
Why? Why do you understand?
Because I was like that in primary school. Paid the price.
Yeah, so it is very, very difficult. So to leave that group, so they will tell you, I know it's no good for me. I know I have to get away, but getting away sometimes is very scary. It's even scarier because being in that situation, you know the pattern already. You might not be comfortable, might not be happy, but you can manage the situation.
So
Okay.
how do people get out of toxic situations? I mean, has it got to do with self-confidence? Because like this client of yours who says if he does not speak to this group of locals, I'm assuming locals or whoever they are, he would have no friends. But confidence would give him the confidence to go out and make more friends, right?
Which is true. So some of them have insecurities. They do have insecurities. They have their own issues also. I mean, the toxic friends have their own issues. The one that partakes in it also have their own issues. So yes, it could be insecurity. It could be their personality. It could be thinking that I can save the person. Various reasons.
So it's insecurity on both sides.
Yes.
That's what you're saying?
Yes. So the other person, or the toxic friend can also be insecure. So let's identify some types of toxic friends. So the first type is what we know, the judge. They criticize, they tell you that you're no good from head to toe, inside out. So they judge everything about you. The other type is the competitor. They put themselves in competition with you. So if you have something, they want to be even better. So that you cannot be better than them. So they are constantly in competition, and your narrative would be, but I didn't compete with you. It's just like that.
Yeah.
But what are you comparing? What is this comparison for? So the competitor. The other one are the ones that are very selfish. The selfish one. Everything they wouldn't share, they wouldn't give, but they expect you to condone it. The fourth one is quite interesting, is the possessor. So they possess you. They don't want you to hang out with other people. They want your entire time. They isolate you from other people. So there are some of these toxic friends like that. The fifth one is the one that it plays the victim all the time. Now this is quite tough to identify because they are always in some shithole, and they are like, if you must come and bail me out.
There's always some drama happening.
Drama is another one.
Drama's another one. Okay.
Yes. Drama is another category. This one is the victim. It's like perpetually there's something happening to them, and they will guilt you for not helping them. So you feel very manipulated into doing things for them.
So can you tell them to stop? Like, can you say, "Oh, don't do this again"? You're in that situation again. You're playing it up. Things are not that bad. I mean, like, how can you manage it so that they know what they're doing?
You probably can't because you can tell them. So you can. Okay. The thing is, with each category and with the person that is on the receiving end, you might not want to confront. So one of the methods is definitely to highlight what is going on. Why are you laughing?
Sorry, it's because there was so. You want to read that one, Glenn?
Which one?
The top one.
That's not true.
We'll read it anyway.
Oh,
Good morning, guys. Glenn didn't have anything taken from him because he was the gangster of St. Pat's. Who dared?
Oh,
That's
Were
not
you
true.
the toxic guy?
No, I was not.
I don't see Glenn as being a toxic person.
Louis says, Glenn, thank you for bringing up fear of not having friends. I am the reverse problem with my twin boys, where they do not find the need to have friends in school. I have concerns that they even push their weight around as twins in class.
Oh, that's
Possible.
cool.
Is it? I don't know.
I mean, because
No.
they
Well, but they
protect
always
each
have
other.
each other, right?
Yeah.
But pushing their weight is different from
Yeah.
getting each other's support. You know, pushing their weight around could mean bullying as well. I don't know. I'm not sure, Louis. I don't mean to be offensive, but what do you think of what Louis said, Dr. Gerry?
We don't know, right?
Yeah.
So, during the PTM, he can get feedback from the teacher to find out. The twins tend to have a really sweet relationship. They're very comfortable with each other, and they're very contented. So, one of the things that schools often do is to split up the twins, to put them in different classrooms so that they have space to really grow and
On their
be
own.
their
Yeah.
own person. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when they come together, it's like nobody else exists.
Right. I've always wanted to date twins. Actually.
Oh, right. Both of them at the same time?
Of course,
Or-
both
okay,
of them at the same time. What's the point of dating them like individually,
I don't know.
separately?
You'd have to ask twins.
Sometimes twins work that way. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
I really don't want to see him today. Can you go out?
Oh, like that.
Like that.
Without the dater knowing.
Yeah, trust me.
Oh, why? How? How
Okay.
are we trusting you with
I'm
this?
not incriminating anybody.
FD, you seem to speak from experience.
Oops.
Okay, moving on.
Yes.
Moving on.
Yeah, we got 30 seconds to traffic.
Yes.
But Dr. Gerry, on air, I want to ask you, because we were talking about twins, which are family, right?
Yes.
But we're talking about friends. So can we talk about family as well as relationships a little bit with toxicity?
When we come back, stand by.
Sure.
Okay.
Let's go for it.
Kiss 92 traffic.
If you're heading down the the TPE, I beg your pardon, towards the PIE after the Pongo Road exit, avoid the rightmost lane. An accident has been reported. Also on the SLE towards the CTE after the BKE entrance of vehicles broken down there. Please stay safe.
Welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. It's Glenn Angel and the Flying Dutchman, and joining us every Tuesday is award-winning psychologist from the therapy room, Dr. Geraldine Tan. Good morning, Gerry.
Good morning.
So, Dr. Gerry, we're talking about toxic friends, but
Yes.
toxicity can also extend to partners, to family
Yeah.
members, siblings,
Yeah.
cousins,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
have you.
Yeah.
Does it all play out the same way? Because with friends, I feel you can cut friends off. But with partners or husbands or wives or siblings, it's a little bit harder.
Also
family members.
harder, yes. Also can.
But you also can. You can. But it's a big decision to make because there's a ripple effect to everything,
Yeah.
everyone else that's
Yeah,
affected,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, do you use the same methods or techniques with people who are related?
Wow. So that would be slightly different, right? Like you say, with friends, we can choose to cut them off, but we are afraid to cut them off. With family, it's very, very much harder to cut them off. And in Asia, we don't cut them off, So then how do we deal, or how do we manage these different characters, right? I guess one of the things we were going to talk about is confronting. But confronting is often very scary for the person themselves to do that. You need a lot of courage to call it out. Because even if you call it out, it doesn't mean it will change, but at least the issue is highlighted. So it's out in the open rather than it being hidden.
Yeah.
And calling
then
it
you
out
can-
like that, doesn't it give you... I would imagine that would give you some kind of inner strength. I've called it out.
Yeah, but it could also turn into a fight. Do you know what I mean? Because the other person may not see what they're doing as toxic at all, because they may see it as regular behavior.
Yeah.
So for the friends one, sometimes they are unaware also. Remember that they can be insecure. So their behavior can be due to their own insecurity. So when we confront and we call it out, they might go, "Oh, I didn't know," and it gives them the opportunity to change. Now, when you're with a partner or with a family member and you call it out, sometimes what I hear the difficulty might be is that because there is a pattern going on, let's say you're telling another family member, but the pattern has already gone on and has empowered this person. So the other people who have not identified it or still have no courage to do that, hear you calling it out or confronting it. They may be the one to police you and say, "Hey, why did you do that? You should have just sucked it up and just deal with it. He or she is like that. How to manage the person, and they are the ones that might hush you up. So you end up not just dealing with one person, but dealing with the entire environment.
Or they might end up and say, "Oh, you're being oversensitive. Everybody else is fine with this behavior." You know what I mean? And then you turn out to be I'm the one in the wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I'm the one who's sensitive when it's not.
And you get that ever famous line of, "I'm just trying to help you. I'm trying to make you better."
Okay.
So it's the good for the other person. So the other person, it's always the other person that is at fault.
Yes.
So the perpetrator is never their fault. Yeah.
If that's the case, just cut them off. I don't understand why people, fear not having friends like that in their lives.
Loneliness, Glenn.
Yeah,
No.
Loneliness.
But then that's horrible. What?
It is horrible, but some people would rather sacrifice that and hang with a
Yes,
crowd than not have that.
I'd rather have these people around me than have nobody around me. Having nobody around me can be very frightening.
And like nowadays, right, everybody's in group chats, right? Can you imagine getting kicked out of a group chat? Nowadays, it's like, wow. You know what I mean? People take that very seriously.
Yeah.
Very, very seriously.
Okay. Let's continue to talk to Gerry on The Big Show TV. Meantime, here's Khalid with Adore You on Kiss 92.
Gerry, going back to the kids, right? And we know that it's already at a bad phase when they go,
Yes.
"I don't want to go to school."
Correct.
Are there earlier signs that we should be looking out for?
Yeah, so we would be able to see, I think Angel mentioned many of them are insecure. So their confidence level is very, very low. So for these, we would be able to see their lack of confidence in many different areas. So we want to help them to boost up their self-confidence, to help them to recognize what they're good at, to go into areas that they are competent in so that they are able to showcase, and it gives them that foundation. So insecurity is one. There are some that are very kind, so that's a personality trait. So they are the givers. So these givers, we want to help them to draw that boundary for themselves, because some people love to take, take free things, right?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Everybody loves freebies.
Yeah.
Yes, Glenn.
Okay.
Everybody loves freebies. So, some are the givers and other people just take. So we want to let them know, okay, is there enough? How much is enough? How much is too much? And how much they should, rein back a little bit.
But I think going back to what we were talking about earlier about when is it too much? Some kids, like you say, they hide it, they don't say anything, they're like, "Oh, it's okay, everybody's just joking," but inside they're crying or dying because it's painful. But how does the external party know it's too much for that other person? Because sometimes people are just poking fun, and it just seems like this person is such an easy target to poke fun at. You know what I mean? And everybody likes to be, well, not everyone likes to be a little bit nasty once in a while. So how do you know when to stop? I know it shouldn't even start, but how do you know when to stop?
So for the person themselves or the other
The
toxic person?
outsider.
The toxic
Because
person.
for the person itself, it's very hard for them to tell the attacker to stop. It's very, very hard. You know, mental abuse, physical abuse, you know, toxicity like that. It's very difficult to say stop. So how do we prevent ourselves from becoming the abuser?
Yeah, that is sometimes very difficult because we don't know where the line is. Because if the person don't call stop or don't raise their hands and say stop, we might not know where our limits are. Yeah, so that might be, I mean, it could be a bystander. So we always look at, and I'm stretching it a little bit more, yeah? So bully, the bullied, and the bystander. So sometimes the bully, the one being bullied, the victim, and the bully might not have insight. So only the bystander will have the insight to call the both parties to stop or to remind both parties.
So what it could also be is we need to start looking at things from the outside as well. Before doing, before saying, before reacting, to sort of look at things from a different perspective from the outside in.
Yeah, so I would say that first, I mean, in the past, it was trying to empower the bystander, but increasingly is to remind the bystander or all of us to be a bit more present in our environments, to be able to look at the environment rather than look at our mobile devices or our phones or be on our earpods, because that is a phenomenon that we see with many, many different people. So they're so, the second you are on your phone or on your devices or on your earpods, the whole world closes into that little bubble. So you actually don't see anything else, you know. So it would be very, very helpful to just tune outwards a little bit, and you can see the subtle changes. You can see your friend withdrawing, just being quieter. You can see the change in the breathing tempo, and you know that your friend is reacting badly in that situation already. And before it even explodes, you can actually say, hey man, stop it. I think enough already. And you can actually pull them apart and you stop, you know, a catastrophe from happening. Yeah, but many of them, they don't. And the bully would just be happy bullying, and the bullied will just not know how to retaliate.
The person who's bullying is like, wow, shock.
Of course.
He's got the high.
This is satisfying.
And and more so when the bullied reacts to it, you know, like cowers away. That's what they're looking for,
That
right?
gives
That
them
power.
the power.
Yeah.
That gives them the power.
So it could be power, it could be a sense of fulfillment, it could be, you know, I've accomplished something today. I've got nothing against you, but I accomplished something today. You know, so
Yeah.
Oh, that's scary.
Very sad as well.
Very, very scary.
So how many of these cases have you come across, Gerry? Because you say you're helping an individual right now. Is this common for you?
Well, because I see a variety of cases, but you know, like what Effie was saying, that I don't think it has really changed over the years, you know. But how can we identify it? I find that we are more and more finding it difficult to identify the toxic people in our life.
Gerry, shouldn't talks like this be done in schools to help children identify those toxic friends?
I don't think
Would
it'll
it help? Would it help?
Of course, yeah. But I think whilst on the outside we say it's very good for the students, but then in schools the schools would pause and think for a while. If I highlight a topic, my teachers must be equipped to deal with it. So
and spot it,
yeah,
right?
so they, yes, and support it. So they on the other side might not feel that they are equipped yet to deal with it.
Okay.
So they don't kind of talk about it in school or highlight it just because they do not have the resources at the moment.
But I feel it takes. I'm not sure if. Okay, never mind. We'll go on air.
Yeah. Traffic update again.
Okay.
Stand by.
Kiss 92 traffic.
On the BKE towards the PIE, right before the Bukit Panjang Road exit, look out for an accident. This is getting a tailback all the way to the KJE exit. Also on the CTE towards the AYE, right before the Lorong Chuan and Bradle Road exit, a vehicle has broken down right there. If you spot anything at all, our number is 8855
Good morning, Singapore, and welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. I'm looking at myself, on the monitor right now, and I'm like, I'm leaning into this very comfortable chair, and I
very
feel like
chill.
I'm going lower. Do you
Yeah.
see?
Yeah,
Do you
you're
see that?
thinking, yeah.
Yeah,
You are
because I don't know why I couldn't sleep last night.
Oh, are you getting? Oh, you're falling asleep then.
I'm kind of yawning
Oh,
right
right.
now. This coffee is not working.
Yeah.
Lucky we have Dr. Jerry here today.
Absolutely.
With such
I was gonna
an
say, are you
interesting.
bored with my topic?
No,
It's an
no.
engaging topic. It
It's
really
very
is.
engaging.
You know,
No. Very good. It's very, very engaging, as Angel just said.
earlier we were talking on the Big Show TV, and FD was saying, shouldn't these kind of things be taught in school about
Yep.
toxic
Yeah.
friends, about giving the teachers the power to sort of spot these situations? But Dr. Gerry, you were saying sometimes it's the resources or the training that doesn't equip the teachers. But I want to find out, is this a trainable thing? I mean, I'm sure it is. Like at certain points you can train to spot the signs and stuff like that. But more than that,
Yeah.
wouldn't people have to have compassion and empathy to be able to spot this sort of behavior and know who's being bullied or know who's being manipulated? I don't know. That's how I feel, at least.
The difficulty is it's not as overt as
Yeah.
it once was. So it's not like two gangs coming together, or you have a gang and they come in and they bully you. No, if you hear some of the stories, they're quite sophisticated. They're quite subtle, and it really does look like, oh, we're just having fun here. Why are you interfering? So they'll tell the adult, right, or they'll tell the teacher, like, we're just having fun here. So one of the situations I've seen before is one boy will shove the other boy, and the other boy will shove another boy, and then and they actually video it, and I'm like, why are you fighting in class? And say, Auntie Gerry, this is how we communicate nowadays. I was like,
What?
are you serious?
And they're just shoving each other. They're not punching each
No,
other.
they're just shoving each other
No,
around.
Yeah, but-
you literally roll on the floor and have like kind of like a rolling fight.
It's
you
the
know?
MMA stuff. That's what it is.
They should just blast some music and then do that. Then at least it looks kind of like a coordinated fight.
But you know,
that shouldn't be done.
I
Or
feel-
dance battle.
I feel like the problem these days is it doesn't just end in school because of
Yeah.
social media. It's taken into their homes as well. The bullying and the toxicity and the bad mouthing, the manipulation and all that. It still carries on. Back in the day, we could just cut it off after leaving school. It was done, right?
Yes. So
Now it's worse.
cyberbullying is another area that is really big and very, very worrying because you cannot run away from it. So a physical bully or physical sort of verbal banter, you can walk away from it.
Yeah.
But the cyberbullying is very, very difficult to walk away from. But I think one of the listeners on Facebook actually asked, how do we notice that our child is distressed? One is when you start seeing your child withdrawing. So the child is getting quieter and quieter, very avoidant of school or avoidant of the situation. It's suddenly you're looking at your child, and your child is very, very fearful. That means your child could be a little worrisome before, but now there's an increase and is very irrational. So they are often very scared of anything and everything at all. Now, swinging to the other side, we have those that start to buy penknives, those that start to buy, weaponry, to defend themselves, or they start to say, "I'm going to punch you, I'm going to hit you." So they start to use words like that. Glenn is like, huh?
That sounds like me.
But
I guess that comment on WhatsApp was right.
there you go. But Dr. Gerry, what about for the kids whose parents don't have the time to notice a change in behavior? The withdrawn behavior, the fear, because sometimes parents come back at night, maybe kids are asleep or in their room doing their homework, they just come in, say goodnight, and off they go, you know what I mean? Which is quite normal these days.
You should still be able to notice it over the weekends.
And I don't know, because a lot of families are really, really busy with their own lives.
Then with that, right, Angel, can you blame the child for just condoning whatever the toxic friend is doing
because
to
their
them?
attention,
But
they're
they
getting
are-
attention
Correct.
that they
correct.
don't have.
Gerry,
Exactly.
I want to ask, you get kids who have toxic friends, and it becomes their way of life.
Yes.
Does that extend into their teen years and later into adulthood?
And then
Do
to their
they go
children.
out? Do they go out looking for those kind of people?
They don't purposefully look. You don't have to purposefully look for these groups of people. You gravitate towards each other because there is a complementary role for both on both sides. Yeah. So you don't purposefully suss them out. No.
Yeah.
But this pattern continues, and you find yourself saying, why am I so uncomfortable? Why are these people treating me like that? But you realize that it has been like that for years. So the adult I was talking about, it has been like that since his childhood. Now he's in his 30s, and it's still perpetuating.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he comes with the cycle.
All right, let's continue to talk to Gerry on the Big Show TV. Meantime, here's Imagine Dragons with Believer on Kiss 92.
It's like you watch those Hollywood rom-coms, and there's always this line that says to another girl, like, why is it that you always attract the bad boy?
Yeah.
You know, or why is it that you always get these guys that treat you like shit?
Yeah.
You know, it's that's what you mean, right? It's you gravitate towards that sort of behavior and that sort of
Yes.
character.
Because the bad boys are always more exciting.
No, they're not.
And then after
They're
that,
not.
when
Trust
they go,
me, they're not.
After
They absolutely are not.
they go with someone who's like,
Ew.
prim and proper and all, and then they'll be complaining, this is boring.
That is untrue.
This is where I will come in only because I have daughters and I've learned to understand this. The male concept of a bad boy
Yeah.
and the female concept of a bad boy is different. It's very different.
Okay.
It's very, very different.
Can you tell us?
It's hard to explain. We see bad boys as James Dean.
No.
Then what do you see a bad boy as?
Johnny Depp.
Same difference. Johnny Depp is the modern day James Dean.
That is true. That is true.
He's the modern day James Dean.
James Dean didn't live long enough to prove that concept, but yeah,
Yeah.
it is true though.
But women see bad boys as someone who hurts them.
Really?
It's different. At least that's what I learned from my kids.
No, I mean women never go out to look for men that hurt them though. No, I mean like why would you? But women,
I've seen it.
for me, a bad boy would be someone who's edgy. He likes to break the rules a little bit. It's not too restrictive.
And he'll break the rules with you.
Which is why I brought up Johnny Depp, right? Because I mean,
Spontaneous,
he's
yeah.
done some, that whole thing with Amber Heard and all that.
Yeah.
Any other guy, everyone will take Amber Heard's side. No?
Yeah.
It's just that it's Johnny Depp.
You know,
no?
next week we talk about bad boys, okay?
Okay,
Yeah.
next
Okay.
week. Next
Oh,
week.
next
okay.
week. Ooh, okay.
Okay.
Bad,
Bad
boys.
Bad boys.
We will play the sound.
How about
over
bad
again.
girls?
Bad other halves.
Bad other halves. Yeah.
Okay, anyway. Yeah, we're talking about bad boys and bad girls. lah.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, it has to be equal.
Balanced, right?
Yeah, it has to be
Okay,
balanced,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
let's talk about bad boys and bad girls since they intrigue all of you so much.
No, I'm not intrigued by bad boys, not anymore at least.
Glenn is for some reason.
Glenn likes to see himself as a bad boy, I think.
No, lah. Everyone knows I'm not. lah.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, it's just that people keep on saying, see, like, oh, Glenn's a gangster in school and all that. I don't ask for it.
It was just something given to you.
Look. I have my pal, and my pal's written on my shirt today. It's as
His
simple
pal's
as that.
name is Mescal.
Pascal.
Oh, that's the shirt.
That's the
that
shirt.
you
He's
got
wearing
when
it.
you're drunk.
You see? Even she knows it. Everybody knows
It finally arrived in the mail yesterday. I'm like, oh,
My
okay.
goodness.
You're like, oh, I didn't get scammed.
Mezcal is my pal.
It rhymes.
But
Jerry,
that's from many of
Albert-
us. Mm.
Albert Tay
Yes.
is on our Facebook page and he says, toxicity starts at home.
Oh,
I feel it does because it's like bullying, right? Bullying.
So toxic parents breed toxic children.
The bullied bully, right?
Actually, it's
That's what
possible.
I feel.
Not actually. The toxic parents may not breed toxic children. They may breed the one that keeps on giving and the one that is extremely insecure.
Is that stereotype or is it maybe?
So it is. It's not a maybe. So
Okay.
that the pattern tends to occur and recur throughout their lives. So they would gravitate towards people who are toxic because that role of playing the victim is familiar to them because they have practiced it all their lives and in their childhood. Yeah. Yeah.
But what about that saying about the hurt? You know, isn't that the same? Is that the hurt people hurt? Like the bullied
Yes.
the bullied become bullies.
Of course, there are always both sides of the coin, right? So the one that is bullied can go on to bully other people. So kind of like paying it forward also. So
How is
there
that?
is-
I feel like once you get bullied, it's like, I mean, how can you bully other people?
I
Of
think
course you
there are
can.
two. I think there are two spectrums. I think the bullied often bully, and then sometimes the bullied become the complete opposite
Yeah.
because they've been bullied all their lives. They never want anything like that to happen to anyone around them, so they don't bully.
You get bullied as a child and then when you're older you go, now it's my turn.
Now it's my turn. So you take revenge.
Or they also
Yeah.
feel like
It's
that's the
revenge.
only way people should be treated.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
It is possible.
it does
Yeah.
happen. Yeah.
But you know,
So,
the reason for
yeah,
all
the
this
two
is because
extremes.
everyone always tells their kids to be nice. You know, you get bullied, you go and report, you don't retaliate and all that. If everyone just teaches their kids to beat up a bully, everything will be fine.
No.
Violence doesn't solve anything.
No.
Yeah, I think it does.
An eye for an eye makes
For
the
bully-
world go blind.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I say all the bullies need to be beaten up.
No. We all counsel the victim. How many times do we bother to stop and counsel the bully? The bully needs counseling as much
You
as the
just
victim.
beat the bully one time, you won't
No.
bully anybody else.
No.
Okay.
I don't believe that.
No, yeah, I totally agree with FD because many times the bully can be a very hurt soul.
Yeah. That's why every time I've heard of like men beating up girls or
No, you
women,
cannot beat
I
up-
always feel like it's because they were hurt as kids or something happened to
Something.
them as a child. I don't know. That's my perception.
No lah, but that's no excuse lah. You know, I mean, a
No, it's
man
no
should
excuse.
never.
No,
yeah,
no,
exactly.
it's no excuse. No,
No,
absolutely
but
not.
it's true. I mean, I'm sure you guys were also taught by your parents growing up. You know, like my mom always taught me, like, look, no matter what,
Never
you know,
raise
you
your hand.
cannot raise
No.
your hand.
No.
You know, at a woman.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
You
of
know,
course.
you cannot
Yeah,
touch a woman ever.
Yeah.
You know, and of course you learn that.
yeah.
Growing
But
up.
these are the people that don't learn that
They don't.
because maybe their household had it, or maybe they were hit as kids.
It's not. There's a difference between an excuse and a reason. This
Yeah.
is not an excuse. It's
It's a reason
Yeah.
for why
But, you
they
know, in the
behave like that.
70s, like I think you know, a lot of in a lot of marriages, these marriages were quite abusive.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
In the
Absolutely.
60s and
because
70s.
it was
Yeah.
also very male chauvinistic back then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was always like the man is right. You know, the woman stays home, wears the colors, is always pregnant, and
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
is feeding all the children.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and has to get him all his food and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
and everything else.
yeah.
Wow, that was heaven for the men.
No, for the men.
How
yes.
times have changed.
Yeah, it was heaven for the men,
For
but
the
it was
men.
absolute hell for the women
Yep. And the kids sometimes.
and
yeah.
the kids. Yeah.
But to scale it back a little bit, for all of us here, just to find, if we find anybody coming to us with an agenda, they have a intention, and so whether it is especially if it's a friend, we are talking about friends here, right? So we ask ourselves, does this person have a hidden agenda, or we can feel uncomfortable with it, right? Then we might call out and say, okay, it's your issue and it's not my issue. I'm not going to do all these for you because you're benefiting, but I'm not. The second one is we ask ourselves, is this behavior imposing on me? Is the you should do this, you should do that, and we frown and go like, why should we do? So if it is an imposition, we have every right to say, no, I do not want to do this. We set the boundary for ourselves. And the last one, and last one is whether, with friends, we with anyone, there's always this gratitude. If we do something, there's always this thank you, gratitude.
Okay, I tell you, save this for when we go on air one last time.
Okay.
The last couple of points. Okay, stand by. Selena Gomez with Love On. It's so funny, Selena Gomez, her latest album.
Why?
There's Love On. And then there's another song, Single Soon. It's like she's covering
You're a bit
all the
schizophrenic,
angles.
is it?
Love was on, then they flipped the switch, and now it's off.
Anyway, speaking of love, today it's all about the lack of love. We're talking about toxic friends. And
Interestingly, I thought it might be the need for love.
Yeah, I was gonna say
what did I
Yeah.
say?
lack of love.
The lack of love. Well, it could be either, right? actually.
I'm not the psychologist. I don't know.
Okay, we'll listen to the psychologist. Okay, Gerry. So, we've been talking about
Yes.
toxic friendships and all that. So it's time to wrap things up right now.
Yeah, so just 3 tips, One, let's look at if the other person have an agenda so that we can just fend them off and tell them to, stop and return it back to them. Are they imposing their values onto us or imposing their needs onto us? We draw the boundary for ourselves. And the last one is if they are not grateful, so they don't show gratitude at all, they don't say thank you, they just take things for granted. So then what we want to do is to then say, okay, you know what, I'm not here to be made use of. And
okay.
that allows us to walk away.
Yeah.
So an author, Brendan Burchard, not an author, I think he's a coach, a modern day coach, Brendan Burchard, he says, when someone disrespects you, beware of the impulse to win their respect. For disrespect is not a valuation of your worth, but a signal of their character.
Well, that's
This
very
is
good.
true. Throw
That's
it right
very
back at
good.
them. Yes.
That is very good.
Nice. Thank you, Dr. Gerry.
Thank you so much,
No
Dr. Gerry.
worries.
Dr. Gerry,
All of you. Huh?
did you watch the Korean show, The Glory? You know?
The glory, I
Yeah.
thought the grandma.
No, the glory is the one about the bullies.
Oh, that
Oh
one,
no, I
right.
didn't.
Oh, that's horrible, man.
No, wait, Dr. Gerry, before you go, our battle of the brands is Vicks versus Axe Oil
Axe
inhalers.
Oil.
Axe, oh my
Axe
goodness,
Oil.
we got the first vote
Yeah, that X-Oil. I'm X-Oil as well.
Okay,
in. We got
Glenn
the
is
first one
excellent.
in.
Jerry
Okay.
and myself got another thing in common.
Yes.
X-Oil.
The only thing in common you don't have is the couch.
Oh, of course not. Conflict of interest. Right? One of these days, you stick one inhaler up your nostril. I'll stick one inhaler up my nostril.
And you'll take a photo.
We endorse X-Oil.
So,
I'll get in touch with
So
the people at
cute.
X-Oil.
I'm sure they're listening.
Okay, thank you, Jerry.
Take care, Jerry.
Oh, yo, bad boys and bad girls next
Oh,
week.
see ya. Bye-bye.
Bye. Headline news and sports up next.
It's Glenn,
Angel.
and FD from The Big Show inviting you to join us for Good Morning Doctor.